RoboCop is a movie that came out in 1987. It was directed by Paul Verhoeven and stars Peter Weller as Murphy, a cop that gets killed in a shootout and is reincarnated as the iconic character we know and love today, RoboCop. The film is action-packed, has amazing costume and set design, and the performance delivered by Weller is as iconic as the character itself. It even has Ray Wise in it, who went on to pursue greater ventures like Shrim.
And I want to thank you for choosing the Shrim Alternative Healing Center.
To many, RoboCop is nothing more than a cool 80s action movie, and to be frank, this is generally what it is. On surface level, the items previously mentioned culminate into a satisfying experience for a casual watch. You don't have to put a lot of thought into the narrative, and the elements present within the film are done so well that the viewer is engaged for the entire runtime. This is why people still know who RoboCop is today as opposed to a character like THX 1138. While both are still amazing sci-fi movies, RoboCop is more accessible to a general audience. As I said before, it's extremely engaging to the viewer and can be both a casual and introspective watch simultaneously. The film is just awesome, there's nothing much more to say about it. But if you look past the surface of RoboCop and try to delve a little further into the nuances of the film, there's a pretty profound statement here. Before the physically human Murphy gets murdered, we can see that he demonstrates a high amount of honor and personal pride. These traits are taken away once he leaves his physical body, but are important to remember as you see his arc throughout being RoboCop. Directly after he is reincarnated as a cyborg, it is shown that he adheres strictly to his code and holds up the law to the fullest extent. However, through the latter half of the film, we see Murphy trying to fight against his code and maintain his humanity to the fullest extent possible. Once you see his eye as he fights against Ed 209, the viewer fully realizes that he both once was and still is a human. This is further cemented throughout one of the best ending lines of all time.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
He is no longer a product of OCP. He has taken back his soul from the lingering memories that existed from the previous body of Murphy. So what exactly is that statement that I mentioned earlier? It's pretty simple but powerful nonetheless. No matter how powerful forces of corruption and consumerism are, they can never turn human beings into products. Murphy sacrifices his very identity to fight injustice and reveals a corporate tyrant as the petty criminal he really is. This movie has a strong message of anti-corporation and anti-consumerism. Murphy, referring to himself as his own name at the end, finalizes his recollection and causes the viewer to realize that OCP did not win in both the immediate aspect and the overarching story. With these messages of anti-consumerism, it should be pretty clear that the franchise of RoboCop isn't meant to be used as a means to promote corporations or make money. But here's what Kentucky Fried fucking Chicken did with the character.
Howdy, folks. Try my $20 fill-up. You have 10 seconds to comply. You now have 5 seconds to comply. 4, 3, 2. Try any $20 fill-up at KFC.
What the fuck?
I mentioned earlier how the real message in the film isn't picked up on immediately, and that RoboCop is generally remembered as an 80s movie with some cool action and heavily recognizable costume design. KFC seems to know this and has run with the character to promote their new grease bucket. This goes against everything the original RoboCop ever stood for. And to make it worse, they don't even quote him right.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You now have 15 seconds to comply. You are in direct violation of Penal Code 113, Section 9. You now have 5 seconds to comply. 4, 3, 2, 1. I am now authorized to use physical force.
The RoboCop that they portray in this commercial quotes Ed 209, the machine that unlawfully killed an innocent test subject. Imagine if someone was using Spider-Man for a commercial, but instead of using anything heroic from the movie, they just did this. Hey everybody, buy my super awesome baby wipes, primed and ready to go to take the shit right off your ass. I could squash you like a bug right now, but I'm offering you a choice. Think about it, hero! When did the shift in pop culture happen where companies and corporations think that just seeing an iconic character and not why the character is iconic will shape their brand and promote sales? Why do they think they can just rip off pieces of art and not provide proper tribute to the original work? I guess they must be doing something right because it fucking works. Look at these comments under the countdown trailer on YouTube that I showed earlier. All 3 people on planet Earth think this is amazing. But in all seriousness, people are loving it. There's a handful of these commercials out, and everyone's just eating it up as far as I can see. It's pretty ironic because when I look at these comments, all I can think of is this scene.
I'd buy that for $1.
Just people enjoying stupid shit on TV. At least there's a couple naysayers. I wanted to write this because movies like RoboCop are near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. When companies come in and defile them like this, it ruins the memories of sacred pieces of work that mean a lot to people. The worst part is they do it just to make a buck. It's not even like KFC gives a single shit about RoboCop, they're just doing it for name recognition. There's not even a new movie to promote. At the end of the day, I just want the intentions of work in media to be recognized as such, as opposed to parading around the main character as the spearhead for some sort of campaign. There are definitely more important things in this world to be worrying about, but we can do our part by not supporting these tainted copies of influential media. All in all, it will lead to a good, better art scene being produced. Support good work. This is Omutrog. I'm out. Thank you for listening.